Welcome everybody to my channel. My name is Sasquatch Gamer, and today I have a great 4v4 battle for you guys today in Napoleon Total War 3 mod for Napoleon Total War. It's got Canada, Portugal, the Ottomans, and the Mamelukes over here on our side, and I'm playing as Canada here. And opposing us we have Bavaria, Rhineland, Württemberg, and France España. So let's get into it as they deploy. I'm gonna speed it up just a smidge. We were still figuring out our deployment. You can see the Ottomans have a bunch of forward deploying infantry, and I believe they have some forward deploying cav that they're gonna deploy up by this building to really just secure it for us. Because the way this game is being played, and all the games pretty much in this mod is via LOC, so all the houses on the map are worth 1 point. So you need to have a majority of them or destroy all the armies before the battle is over. So the goal is to get, majority points. So we're definitely going to try to secure these two buildings on this side, in front of this hill. And then try to definitely secure this one over here. Yeah, right here. And then push up on these if we can. In the middle is very open, very flat, so that'll be just kind of a weird void. So as the armies get set up, we can look at a little bit at army comps. So Mamelukes brought a lot of cav, and they brought a lot of infantry. They have the range advantage. Their minimum range is like 85, or their normal range is like 85, I think. So they can outrange most European factions. But they brought a lot of camels, which are good against like heavy and medium cav, but they're really slow. So that's their huge disadvantage. But they have excellent light cav with some huge units of light cav here that have pretty good stats, I believe. And the Ottomans have many of these same advantages. They have light cav. They have a heavy cav somewhere. Right there. There it is. They have this very medieval-looking heavy cav unit. They have a lot of infantry, a big 5-pounder, 7-gun battery, and a decent amount of line infantry and grenadiers there. Again, they have the 85 range. Over here we have Portugal, who has 2 medium cav and a smattering of light cav. One's right there. So Portuguese cav isn't the best, but it can be used effectively. And the Brigade de Urban is the best they have to offer. Canada likewise has pretty poor variety in cav. I brought all light cav. I didn't bring any of the medium or heavies that they have to offer. This is my best unit though, with 16 melee attack. And me and Portugal both brought a lot of infantry. These are both factions that are very infantry focused, very shooty. They can go into melee, but they're basically there to just mow down enemy lines. Especially with all these Caçadores that Portugal brought. Yeah. Guardia del Licia. Legio Lusitania, yeah, so he brought a lot of really good shooters, which will be really effective in the open field. I'm going to press into the forest, and it looks like we have Bavaria and Rhineland kind of on this side of the map. Württemberg and France España are over here. Soon we will start seeing units pop up for them. So France España brought a Hussar general, Antoine de La Salle. I don't pronounce these names terribly, but I'll do my best. Some cheap light cav. Württemberg has a general somewhere. Oh, another cav unit appeared. So he did bring the Lances Davis Duel, which is an extremely good unit for this faction. And he brought the Division des Dragoons, which is good because of its size. They're going to drive off those Ottoman Tartars right there with superior cav. There's Württemberg's general. He brought the 12-pounder guard artillery general. I believe Bavaria brought a 16-man normal general, as did Rheinbund. But generals in this version of the mod are huge bonuses can be added to morale and stats and all sorts of other stuff through your general. I'm not sure where the Ottoman general went, but the Mamluk general is one of the light cav units. This one, 144 men. So that's a huge light cav unit for a general. And you can no longer see the generals on the mini-map, which I think is good. His general somewhere. Portugal brought a infantry general. It's one of these Caçadores right here. He brought a 4E Caçadore general, Luis de Rogo Barreto. I'm gonna again butcher these names. I brought a British infantry general somewhere in this mass of infantry. I brought a 6-pounder and a 9-pounder. Portugal brought a 12-pounder and a 6-pounder. He brought 2 6-pounders and a 12-pounder. 12-pounder's back there. The Ottomans have this huge 7-gun battery. And everyone's just kind of advancing, so we can speed it up a little bit. Tunnelers are going to go in and try to cut down some of the skirmishers, but they're not going to get there. Some Württemberg horse artillery, some Württemberg Garde du Corps appearing, as well as some Chevaliers and some light infantry starting to appear from them. The whole French army has kind of appeared. Sort of. A lot of Leger infantry, which are all really good. And all 3 infantry from the Legion de Vistule. Such a good looking unit. As some dragoons passing the way. And he brought some Voltigeurs as well. Mamluks are going to push up. Tunnelers are going to try to get to this artillery battery, but they're not going to get there. Run down by those lances de Vistule. You got some camels coming out, charging the lancers. More camels are moving forward, but looks like it's just a lot of cav to micro. He looks like he just kind of forgot about him for a minute, but they'll get out of there pretty quick. And you can see the Ottomans set up a nice defensive position in these woods to face off against Württemberg. The woods will definitely help them in defense. Over here we got some Rheinbund cav showing. Both these are just Hussar units for them. Grenadiers appearing for Bavaria up here on the road by the house as well. And you can hear they have some artillery nearby on the road right there, shelling my troops as they advance. There's my general, Isaac Brock.
This building has fallen to the enemy.
So they're going to start taking buildings. This one with those grenadiers. More Rheinbund cav showing up. With some Chevaliers and more Chevaliers. Advancing up the middle towards Portugal's infantry out here in the open. Portugal's got some light cav. There's some Mamelukes cav right there. Some of the camels rallying. Portugal's gonna throw forward their Brigade de Urban to counter some of this other cav appearing, as well as all of his light cav, and his other medium cav is going to also rush forward. Looks like he's going to try and deploy 6-pounders here to counter some of those Chevaliers. Or he's just gonna move them somewhere else. Prove me completely wrong. But yeah, he's a nice line here with Cazadores and Skirmishers. A lot of which can square. So that's good against all this cav out in the open field. Dragooners and some Ulanen appearing from Bavaria. Over here we have a bunch of line infantry appearing from Bavaria, thanks to my light cav scouting. Here you can see the main Bavarian, or chunk of the main Bavarian line. So I'm going to try to press forward to this house, but I'm going to stop here at the edge of the forest because I'm a little too far forward because I don't know where Rhineboon's infantry is yet. And Portugal's just a smidge behind me. So I kind of stopped here to let him catch up and to continue scouting and find out where Rhineboon is. Though we did just find a Rhineboon Grenadier here. Just hanging out by the house as well. Some more Bavarian infantry. So again, they have a lot of cav in this center area and up on this hill. More artillery is appearing. We have some 12-pounder general, howitzers, 6-pounders, 6-pounder horse. Yeah, so they have a lot of artillery up on this hill. There's another battery over here that will show up eventually. France is going to advance towards the Mameluke infantry over here. You can see the Ottomans are still pushing up the road towards the front. There's just a lot of Mameluke and Ottoman cav up in the center here. A little bit of a cav charge going on. We got some Saxon cav going after the Sapadores. And they are going to get the Sapadores before they can deploy their stakes, which is unfortunate. But here comes a medium cav to counter the Hussars. But poor Sapadores didn't get to do their job.
Sir, our general is under attack.
This 3-pounder, it's a 3-pounder up here. Just doing some good work against my infantry. Just trying to put shots in against my my fencibles and my general. I'm keeping my general near my militia, of which I have a bunch, to help inspire and keep their morale higher. My main line over here don't need that as much, so the militia definitely would need that morale support. So I brought 6 militia. Although the militia for this faction in Canada is really good. Most of them have like 18 accuracy, pretty decent reload, and not terrible morale. These are probably the worst militia I have, the Brunswick Fencibles, but they can hold. They're just kind of meat fillers in a line, but they can be effective, as you'll see in this game. We have some Rhineboon infantry appearing. A lot of just seeming infantry. They have a 6-pounder rolling up as well. See what's going on over here. Looks like Württemberg trying to press into the forest and finding that Ottoman line there. Same with France over here, pressing against the Mamelukes with all of their Leger infantry. Well, these two Mameluke regiments are just peppering the French line over here. Their longer range. Skirmishers returning fire. Both sides have a lot of cav right here, so they're gonna match it. Some camels moving around. So that huge rank of artillery up there is just going to start pounding into these woods against the Ottoman infantry as they just skirmish with some of these Württemberg infantry here. Ottomans have a lot of reserves back here, infantry-wise. A lot of reserve cav as well back here. Artillery rolling up. Some Mamluk artillery is deployed. And it is going to start shooting at the French line, I believe. Looks like that's where it's shooting. Yeah, it's trying to shoot at these Legion de la Vestoul. Over here, all is quiet. I've deployed my line here. These are like my better line infantry from Britain, with some Portuguese reinforcements on my flank, hoping hold open this open field area. I sent a bunch of my cav over to help them against all the cav that was out here in this open field, because there hasn't really been a ton over here. I do see some Chevaliers over here though, so keep an eye on them. I deployed my artillery on the road because trying to move artillery in the forest is just a terrible idea, because it's slow as only molasses can be. So some of my militia are under artillery bombardment here, but the woods are definitely helping shield them. So they do have some skirmishers as well. Looks like they're gonna deploy into the forest here to come at me, because they definitely want to take the house behind me. Seems to be their objective. Line infantry Prince Carl, which is a really good line infantry for them. Gonna act as a reserve. And you see their whole line starting to advance here into the forest. Portugal's going to shift more around this way to the right to try and flank them. They're rolling up that nasty 6-pounder with them, which at close range can be deadly effective against infantry. He's going to deploy militia to fill the gap there, though. His 12-pounder is finally reaching the open field. So my infantry are going to open up against these skirmishers. I'm going to send over some light cav to try and knock them out. There's some Guard du Corps heavy cav here. Yeah, that 3-gun-6 is can be devastating, but again, the forest is definitely helping. And look how slow cav is, and this cav is running in the forest, and it's like they're walking. Artillery is insanely slow in the forest, so that's why you really never deploy it in the forest. Let's go back to the other side in the middle. You can definitely see Portugal is trying to push a wedge into the middle, which he is doing pretty successfully, I'd say. He's got a nice artillery position up here, shelling some of this cav. And they don't really have any infantry here to confront him, it seems. Although there's some Württemberg Guard infantry right there. But it's all cav here. So he's going to be able to press over reserves to help the Ottomans against Württemberg and France. And this is just a nice engagement in the woods here. Some of the Ottoman regiments are taking some casualties, but it's not terrible yet.
Our men are running,
deploying
sir.
more reserves to that area. I believe I did they charged my 6-pounder down the road with those Chevaliers, but I did manage to break them with my square and my fencible militia there. They also have a cuirassier, so they brought a lot of like heavy cav and a decent amount of infantry. My cav broke against the Guard du Corps, and I didn't get to knock out those Fusiliers, which was annoying, so I spared this infantry because I thought the Guard du Corps might run in, but they're just going to pull out. Over here, Württemberg seems to be getting the worst of the engagement. The larger Ottoman units are hard to shoot through when you have these small little light infantry units, but he did bring a lot of skirmishers, which will help. Skirmishers are hard to hit, so We'll see how that does. Got some howitzer shots and a lot of artillery focusing on this cav back here. French deployed their big six pounder battery with 6 guns in a decent position. It's more to cover their infantry, really. I think they don't have the greatest angle on enemy cav. The artillery up here definitely has a fantastic view of the Ottomans and Mamluk positions. We're just going to pull up here. Rhineland actually sending some infantry support to this side of the map, with Portugal pressing down with their Caçadores to support the Ottomans. That big Ottoman battery is still crawling its way forward. It's an F1 artillery, so it's super slow. Again, just a nice line fight. I condensed my line a little bit to match the density of the Bavarian infantry. Although the British, he's shooting his own men in the back there with artillery, which is just devastating his men. And they're going against some really truly good British infantry.
Our men are running, sir.
Like I said, very shooty. I went and knocked out this battery up here, but was again my light cav lost to the Garde du Corps, which was unfortunate. And I'm going to try to retreat my 9-pounders to a better position and push up and around their flank and try to cave it in a little bit. But they're going to throw more infantry into the fight. So at this point, I decided to pull back so Portugal could get more on the flank of Rhineland and really try to push in. And he's going to send over more infantry to help that. His artillery is shelling the Saxon cav here. Or Rhineland cav, sorry. And they're going to get out of there so they're no longer under bombardment. I'm going to go for the 6-pounder because I don't want to stand here and get shot in the face by, 6-pounders. They're going to get a couple nice shots off. I did lose a good amount in this unit, but I got the artillery.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to get that unit out of there. So hopefully it can be used again. He squares, but a little late. The artillery's dead, not coming back. So that was a definite win. This unit was taking some severe casualties from that artillery battery, I think, and the infantry by it. So all in all, just kind of a stalemate everywhere, really. These Mamluk light cav went in to charge this artillery, which makes it immobile, which is good. They can't pull it back with them or anything. Kind of makes it forces it to be stationary. But that cav was driven off by the Lancers de Vistula again. Again, the Mamluks using their superior range to just really just skirmisher down these elite French infantry. Not the greatest angle in the world, but these skirmishers are returning fire. But if you're shooting in the enemy camp, that's all the better. So he's going to try to pull back out of range, it seems. They're going to try to target his general cav unit with some artillery. The Ottomans and the Portuguese are going to advance up towards the hill a little bit, it looks like. Again, on this side, it's just a continuing brawl between infantry lines in the forest here. These are really just some of my best infantry going up against just kind of more generic line infantry. My militia wing over here is just kind of hanging out. not engaged, but just holding down this side of the forest. And they're going to charge in smooth lawn after my artillery. And unfortunately, I try to unlimber it. I try to move this unit of Quebec Fencibles, but they do get it before I can get any of my cab there or anything. That's unfortunate.
Our men are running, sir.
Losing your artillery like that is always unfortunate. But in a battle like this, in this kind of area, it wasn't the biggest loss for me. But I was more worried about them pushing that heavy cav Garde du Corps around like they're going to try to do. So I'm going to send over more cav to support that effort. But in the forest, all seems to be going well. Portugal's doing nicely against Rheinbund. Rheinbund cav again, just kind of ineffective because of all the artillery and all the squares Portugal has. So they're unsure what to do with it. Rheinbund's going to deploy some infantry over here against the Caçadores. Some Lifeguard Grenadiers here, marching down the road. Good looking unit. I mean, this mod looks incredible. Even the 6-pointer nations look fantastic. Let's go look at these Garde du Corps here. I love it. All the artillery up here. This French battery is under severe bombardment. They but looks like they're shooting. I don't know where they're shooting at. Looks like they're either countering the artillery or trying to shoot this artillery, this cav unit pack here rather. And again, the Ottomans using their longer range as an advantage, trying to weaken the numbers of these French infantry. And look at all the cav they have back here. And they have more all the way back still sitting in spawn because they just don't need it. £12-pounders finally getting into position. This cav looks like it's going for the artillery, but they're not going to get there. He's going to try to retreat them. He's going to retreat them to the square, and the Rheinbund and Bavarian cav will pull off. But again, just a nice line fight in the forest. They're going to push down more infantry towards my militia. So I'm going to form my militia to counter it. I have my cav more in a better position here. I'm going to try to move my 19th Light out into the field over here. Portugal is going to send me the brigade to Urban and then take them back because he needs them in the center against all this Rheinbund cav. Because they do have Bavarian cav because they do have dragoons and cuirassiers here as well. I love the Bavarian helmets. I don't know why I like these so much, but they just look really cool. Or someone get hit somewhere.
Our men are running, sir.
My ill-fated light cav, I tried to knock out their Ulanen, but again got crushed by the Garde du Corps. And they're gonna press these 4 infantry into my my 4 militia regiments. So I'm gonna again just pull back a little bit. They have more infantry forming on the road. I'm just trying to consolidate and just kind of continuously kite while they press over here. These Caçadores just ripping into these Rheinbund light infantry. volley. But, you know, they have 3 units fighting 1 Rhineland infantry, so that's never going to end well. And they're going to pull back up the hill. Württemberg is still just trying to hold off against the Ottoman infantry, especially with the help of their artillery spraying canister down this hill. I think it was canister or round shot, either way. Very effective. That was round shot. French voltigeurs, they're kind of pulling back towards their artillery, it looks like, and more up the hill. The Mamluk army just able to outrange them, and they severely outnumber them, which definitely helps their case. But they really don't want to advance into that artillery either, so. Looks like the Rhineland's going to go for some of these cav and infantry and artillery out here. Brigade Urban's going to... Unfortunately, these troops were turned around the wrong way, so they're going to get rear-charged by those dragoons. And the Cuirassiers are going to charge in. But you have Mamluk Cav coming over. You have all the... just a lot of Cav. Just a huge Cav brawl here going on. Camels coming in and hitting these Chevaliers. Trying to protect these batteries, although one is broken. And they're just gonna swallow these Saxon Cav. These units do get rear charged, but they don't break somehow. Bavarian Dragoons. The Cuirassiers broke off their charge and charged the Portuguese militia here. And I just formed a square. Tried to get some volleys off into them, but they got out pretty quick. Fortunately, though, Portugal making a great move here with his light cav. Going after the artillery right here while it's still limbered up. Just mowing them down. Which was a great move. Definitely helped this side, the fight on this side of the battlefield. And he's gonna try to run them away. Yeah, he's gonna try to run them away. It doesn't look like they're gonna get away. At least not all of them will from the Cuirassiers. Mamluks still just absolutely annihilating the Garde Corps from Rhinebund here. With some Portuguese cav mixed in. And just, yeah, absolutely swallowing it. That light cav does escape with most of its members, which is good. That Cuirassier, though, is just going to be able to break anything that Portugal can send over. If the Mamluks sent cav over, it might just swallow it through numbers, but, yeah. Nice little break in the fight in the woods. I'm going to press up again. They didn't seem like they wanted to follow me. So I'm going to press up and try to re-engage. Over here, you still have the Life Guard Grenadiers moving around. Looks like they're heading back up the hill to try and support what's left up here. These Castadores is just so good. Some good other infantry. Some 7th line. The Lusitania infantry were one of the best units that Portugal could field.
This building has fallen to the enemy.
Just gonna be able to mow down these Rhineland and Württemberg infantry. The skirmishes will be a little harder because they're just harder to hit, but oh god, the French 1-yard division of dragoons just came in and annihilated like 5 regiments of Ottoman infantry, and now it's just a huge brawl. There's cav pouring in from both sides, infantry breaking. Württemberg sending in infantry, and it looks like they're going to press in their Garde du Corps as well. France is going to try to pull out. The Ottomans are going to follow. Oh, I can't believe I missed the beginning of this. But yeah, that's why you keep squares at the end of your lines, is because otherwise things like this happen when you have huge French Dragoon units. The Ottomans are going to try to follow, try to cut down some of them, but his general is out there trying to rally his men. But again, these Castadores are just breaking down this flank here. Just able to focus fire on like one unit with like 3 or 4. Although one Castador does break. The Ottomans are going to press up with their remaining infantry back into the fight. Trying to reform their line here as the Mamluk Cav tries to escape. He's trying to get them out of there, but they get caught up in melee. So charges like that can change games. Definitely. Had they supported it with Württemberg infantry, maybe it would have done better if that guard grenadier had been in a position to help it.
Our men are running, sir.
Over here, I tried to rear charge some of these infantry with my light cav, but they broke. So I'm going to push my infantry back up. Portugal is going to try to collapse his flank. So again, just a nice line battle in the forest over here. Nothing really going on out there. Their guard du corps is somewhere, but again, I'm just trying to hold this one pointer and hold this forest at this point. With Portugal's help, though, we're going to be able to hopefully turn this flank. Some Mamluk Cav here and there. Mamluk Cav really just everywhere. Up here, some Cav tried to charge, but the Guard du Corps is going to force him back. Portugal is going to retreat and reform. As the Ottomans continue to just press up the hill, there is some French infantry coming in on their flank. The Legion de la Bastoule. General going in against camels. See how that goes. Camels are definitely gonna lose that one. The Ottomans are also likewise gonna pull back to try and reform their lines. Just reconsolidate, reform after that devastating cav charge by those dragoons. And you know, elite French infantry pushing in. Definitely gonna make them pull back and rethink. Just to reconsolidate and reform. You know, Portugal's trying to fight on both sides of the map, which is extremely difficult to do. So he definitely wants to keep his men organized, and militia doing very well holding against the Rhinebound infantry. Do have Cuirassier over here charging these poor camels, getting charged by Cuirassiers. More infantry though coming on in towards Rhinebound's flank, trying to outflank them, really push them back.
The men are fatigued, sir, and must rest a while.
That's just my light cav rallying. I will use them to great effect through the rest of this battle, I hope. Their Guard du Corps is going to try to run them down and keep them from rallying. So I'm going to try to get them back to this squaring militia unit. So again, just a nice line fight in the woods here. Like I said, I'm just going to try to get them back to the square and use the square to fend off the heavy cav. Portuguese infantry laying into some of these Rhinebound infantry, really starting to push back that flank.
All hope is lost, sir. This battle is almost done.
Portugal sending in more cav towards those Cuirassiers. which is going to be a mistake. Oh, those crash shoes are going to win that just every time. Portugal and the Ottomans are going to advance back up the hill as the French withdraw their elite infantry back up the hill. I'm not sure why they did that, but might just because there was a bunch of Mamluk and Ottoman infantry and cav starting to press up the hill. Ottomans are going to send some exhausted cav up the hill to try to hit some of this artillery. Oh god, that artillery just decimating whatever unit that was. And the Ottomans are going to try to retreat down the hill. Just too much cav there. Yeah, he's really trying to get them out of there. He's going to move infantry and other units to try and support it. Some Portuguese light cav going in and some infantry meleeing, trying to break down this flank. Using his elite infantry to charge into these weaker light infantry from Wittenberg. The Wittenberg Garde du Corps staying up there and not coming down to try and help his infantry, who are just going to get swallowed by this huge force of infantry and cav down here. So this side of the map is definitely under control. It's really just this side of the map that's still being contested. Still just hammering it out in the woods here against these Bavarian line infantry. Oh, they disappeared. Okay. This flank is definitely the most hotly contested flank. My militia over here not getting to see a lot of action at the moment, but hopefully that will change. Two of those crafts here and that Garde Corps over here still. And the Grenadier from Rhineland still. I'm not sure why they're not using it. And Württemberg is basically destroyed at this point. Portugal's just routed everything except for this little cluster of artillery up here and an infantry unit and the Garde du Corps, which is somewhere. Where'd it go? It's somewhere. There it is. Garde du Corps, and all that's left really up here is French artillery, French infantry rather, some French cav. They're going to get a nice charge off on some of these Ottoman infantry here. Although, a cloud of Mamluk cav is coming, so France is going to try to push down the hill with their infantry to support that charge. The Dragoons are going to try to get out of there. But they're going to get hit in the rear by these light cav from the Mamluks. The infantry are definitely trying to save them, but these guys are just will not break, will they? Nope. That unit's going to square, and the Mamluk cav charge is going to be held back, it looks like. One battery still firing up here. The general, the 12-pounder general battery is still firing away up here. The French cav finally broke. The camels are going to try to move up the hill. Going to charge this general. What's left of the Hussar general from France here. Looks like they may or may not get shot in the rear here. by these French Leger and Württemberg infantry. Yep. Ooh, devastating. At this point, there's nothing they can really do up here. They're just going to get surrounded from all sides. So Portugal's going to reform his infantry and these lifeguard grenadiers trying to exit the building. They're running over to the side of the map to try to.
We have killed their general, sir. Now they must break.
Where's that? Oh yes, they charged some of these Portuguese infantry over here and were repulsed. Although Portugal losing a unit. And again, just withdrawing and reforming, kind of the name of the game over here. These medium cav from Portugal trying to run down these guard grenadiers. Who are still very healthy. And they are exhausted. So. And wavering. Yeah.
Si, senor.
And they're gonna break just by the presence of the enemy. I mean, they just have so much artillery over here and so much infantry. Portugal's gonna send their infantry down to secure these two houses down here, which will secure LOC for us. Ottomans pressing up against the units up here. Definitely their last stand. That was a nice volley. Cutting down a number of those Ottoman infantry. And they're just going to try to retreat and kite and not be as surrounded, try to keep them in front of them. As Portugal moves to secure the houses, artillery moving around in the center, these guard grenadiers I think are going to head back to that house to try to hold it. Portugal hammering away with Rheinboten on the flank here, although now those grenadiers are moving into position. I'm going to try to advance and turn the flank of Bavaria here. This guard corps is still there, which I'm trying to screen it with some square infantry and my light cav. Nice shots, my brave militia here. These two New Brunswick Fencibles proving very useful in this fight. My general taking some severe losses, but still alive here in the front. My one grenadier unit doing very well, surviving. Looks like they're shooting at these fusiliers up on the road here. The rest of my infantry forcing the enemy back with this flanking maneuver. Portugal's going to have to retreat again from the superior number of Rheinboten's units. And at this point we're going to again just kite backwards and wait for this fight on this side to finish up. There's only 12 minutes left. They're fighting for this building. The Portuguese were actually in at first, so Rheinboten is trying to take it from them. Just a bunch of Castadores and the skirmisher unit in there, so we'll see how they do. The enemy general is dead. Let's clear that stuff out. And that is the Portuguese general being killed in the melee at the house, unfortunately. But this unit's just going to walk right up to this door and fire right into the back of them. Just absolutely shredding them. these guys are going to charge in, and I think that'll break them. Yep. So this house is secure. This whole side of the map, I think, is pretty much under control. Yeah, they're just going to keep shooting and working their way down on these remaining French infantry and Württemberg infantry. This garde du corps is still here, which is interesting that he's not trying to charge the exposed flank of the Mamelukes who can't square. They are tired though, so not sure how that charge would go. Looks like the French are going to try to press down to retake these buildings, maybe. Again, this huge battery firing this way, I believe. Oh, no, they're shooting each other. Portuguese artillery firing this way. These guys firing this way at the Rheinbund infantry. And we decided to pull back to this house and just defend this house. Rheinbund's infantry was a little too much for the Portuguese. So we're just going to withdraw to the house. Fight it out from there. We're just going to take this time to reform and shuffle their lines around a little bit. This guy's still looking good. I like these hats for whatever reason. Some of my infantry have taken some pretty heavy losses in the long shootout battle. Some 4th Foot, 41st. I stuck my Highlanders in this building to hold the building in case they got that far. They still have that Garde du Corps in a cuirassier somewhere, so we took the other building over there so we control the LC on this side of the map. And the French are definitely going to try to push down in this house. They're on the road now, trying to retake these buildings. Artillery just pounding this Rheinbund infantry unit here. And they're just going to press down this hill into the Portuguese and a couple of my line infantry. Bavarian's already engaging with my main line here by the house.
One of our units has used all its ammunition, sir.
And some of my units are starting to run out of ammo, like these Fencibles here. My Glengarry's opening fire. He moved his Garde du Corps, and then it looks like he just forgot about them in the micro of a battle like this. It happens. I'm gonna get a nice rear charge on him with my light cav. I'm gonna rear charge him and cut him down. I'm gonna run them down so that I know they won't come back. So my light cav doing a nice job there. Just unfortunate that, you know, with so much micro to do, can't always catch everything. His general is there trying to inspire his men and help them punch through my lines. I'm going to pull this unit over here as a reserve. Just in case they try to charge down the road with grenadiers or anything into me. I'll take my light cav behind them. Go after their general, I believe. Portugal forming a nice defensive position. I'm gonna knock out their general.
We have killed their general, sir. Now they must
I get their
break.
general. I think I get their light infantry. Their Fusiliers skirmisher unit. And I'm gonna pull up the road and try to just reform on the road. my men are tired, let them rest for a minute before going back in. You can see what the general dying did to the morale of some of these infantry. From between combat fatigue and casualties, the general dying will really drop the morale of units like this. Especially units that have been in it so long. Yeah, there goes one. At this point, I'm going to go back in with my cav against the exposed flank. Again, they didn't have any squares there. I'm going to instantly rout 2 of these units. And I'm just going to press on and try to zipper on down the line. So this whole line will break. There goes another one. I'm going to try to charge with my unit that's out of ammo into these infantry here, who are going to instantly break. So this battle is coming to a close. The French troops were killed over here between the Mamluk infantry and artillery and cavalry. Just the Garde du Corps remains on this side. Bavarian Cuirassiers coming down the road. Unfortunately, most of their army at this point is routing. There's not a ton left. My light cav are just cutting down units so they don't return. Rhineland is broken against the Portuguese. I'm just gonna charge in with all my militia against this force here. The Cuirassiers are gonna charge in though. Now there's a lot they would have been able to do. They're going to charge right into the guns of some of my men. And the morale is pretty low from their men routing and their general being dead.
Sir, your general has been killed.
Unfortunately, my general does die right there. But, you know, at this point the battle is over. It doesn't matter as much. He did his job, keeping the militia in it throughout. So at this point we can speed it up. There's just a couple of units here and there rallying and stuff. That Garde du Corps, you can just keep kind of running it around for a minute. But yeah, that is NTW 3. There's a lot of different ways to play a lot of these nations. I play Canada the way I play it. Not everyone, not everyone plays it like that. A lot of people bring forward deployable Native American infantry. I don't use them well enough for me to bring them, but that's just how some people play. You can play Portugal a couple different ways, but again, these two nations are very, very shooty. You can just kind of sit there and shoot out with them. Ottomans, Mamluks, I've not played as much, so I feel like this is a good example of how to play the Mamluks. And the Ottomans did pretty well as well. I believe this player was at least new to the faction, if not newer to
One
the
of our
mod
units
as well.
has used all its ammunition, sir.
So he did very well for not really having played them before. The Mamluks did very well. And yeah, that should be a couple units rallying. This unit rallies. I broke that grenadier, charged into my infantry, and just got annihilated. There's an elite regiment right here that rallied. I think that should be it. Yep. Alright, well, thank you for watching the video. Thank you to all the people in the battle. Everyone did very well. They did a very good job attacking, trying to push through that forest against me. Württemberg did really well holding against the Ottomans and Portugal as long as they did. Yeah, 1,400 kills. I can look at my statistics only. My light cav doing extraordinarily well, getting 6 chevrons with almost 300 kills. My general also doing very well with 179. And one of my militia with 95 kills. So that was a lot of fun. And I'll see you guys next time.